I just read Love Theoretically by Ali Hazelwood as someone whose first ever romance book was The Love Hypothesis. So let's talk about my thoughts. Honestly, I had no idea what I was getting into when I started this book. I knew that it was enemies to lovers, but not to the extent of what ended up happening. But my opinion of this book was kind of affected by a few things. First was the fact that I just reread The Love Hypothesis in anticipation for the movie coming out later, which I'm so excited for, by the way. That'll be a different video. But I think that The Love Hypothesis on second read was something that was really great for me as a first-time romance reader, but after having read so many other romance novels by different authors and different tropes and genres, I think that it had a lot of things that it could improve upon in terms of writing. Then I was starting to hear about Love Theoretically and people talking about how this was a great improvement on Ali Hazelwood's writing because she had had time to write more, and this was a product of her being able to explore more of her writing style. So I think I had some different expectations. Also, I had just learned about Colleen Hoover being a producer on the film, which is something that I'm not too worried about right now. I'm personally not a Colleen Hoover anything. I have not read any of her books. I have not seen any of her movies. But I have been watching kind of the press that goes around it and just seeing the trailers for her stuff in general. And I feel like we could get some good casting potentially with her being a producer. Maybe. I don't know. Anyways, let's get into my actual thoughts. I will definitely agree with the fact that Ali Hazelwood's writing between Love Hypothesis and Love Theoretically has greatly improved. This was definitely better, and I think it's because we don't focus that much on the romance. I feel like there's so much more of the academia side of things, which she admits in her author's note, and I'm really glad about that, honestly. As someone who is a humanities major, I just could not wrap my head around most of the things that were discussed that were integral to the plot. However, I was still very intrigued by it, and I could tell that it meant a lot to these characters. I think that's more important sometimes than just putting the romance at the forefront and making the whole plot about romance in some way, because I feel like The Love Hypothesis does do that in the sense of like their whole love story is built upon these romantic or intimate things that keep happening to them. There's less of that with Love Theoretically, which I appreciated. In terms of characters, I feel like Ali Hazelwood female protagonists are pretty similar. That's not really a problem for me. I think it makes it easier for me to see their connection with the male because usually they're like opposites attract kind of situation, and I like that. So this was no different. Jack and Elsie, I liked their chemistry. I didn't really, again, like because of how plot forward this book was, which every book is plot, but you know, the focus on academia made it easier for me to like settle into their relationship and see it grow and not be just so attached to the